So all of us generally need to feel that our hips are a little bit more flexible and a little bit more open. So we're going to do a combination of a couple of standing stretches and then work down onto the mat. So take your feet wider than your hips. Just make sure that you're not leaning back or leaning forwards, that your pelvis or your ribs are stacked on top of the pelvis. We're going to start off with a groin stretch. We're going to breathe in, and as you breathe out, my knee's going to drop to the side, and I'm going to just gently feel an opening through the front of this hip. If this feels quite sore, feel free to step a little bit closer so the stretch isn't as strong. And if you feel more flexible, take that foot slightly further away. The stretch should feel gentle. So if 0 was no stretch, and 10 out of 10 was awful, maybe the intensity is about 2 to 4. And you'll feel a stretch wherever it is that you need, keeping yourself nice and stacked. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and out. And then we're going to go to the other side. So we're going to gently drop towards the other side, holding the static stretch. Being aware that one side is likely to be a little bit more flexible than the other. So breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Just a static stretch for the front of the thigh and the inside of the hip, our adductor muscle. Just holding that stretch. And then we're going to come back to centre. We're now going to do a little bit more of a dynamic movement. I'm going to rest the tip of my toe on the mat, and maybe my foot is against my ankle. I'm going to imagine that my knee is opening, so we're just going to gently open that hip, and then breathing in, coming back. Now, you'll notice that it's a little bit wobbly standing on the mat, so feel free to do this holding onto a wall or on the floor. We're going to do 2 more. We're going to do 1 more, just opening up through that hip, only as far as comfortable. Change legs. So again, foot is on the floor, maybe a little bit of support by resting that heel against the other leg. Trying to stay straight so my pelvis stays forwards. I'm not twisting. It's a really nice opening for that hip. We're going to do 1 more. Very simply now, I'm going to turn the side on so you can see. We're going to do some controlled swinging. Again, holding on if you need. Just swinging that leg forwards and backwards. If you have been sitting all day at a desk, this can feel really nice to move the hips. Holding on if you need, holding onto a chair, holding onto a wall. I'm going to do 1 more. I'm going to just turn around, but you just can simply change sides. So again, just opening through that hip. Can you see how I'm trying to stay nice and tall as I do this? So maybe focusing on a nice little bit of height, lengthening through the body. Just simply moving through that hip. And then having a rest. Giving everything a bit of a wiggle. Never underestimate the little wiggle in terms of freeing up the hips. And we're going to work down onto the mat. So this is a kneeling stretch. So we're going to pop 1 foot down. If you need, put a cushion underneath that knee. Very importantly, I want you to make sure that your rib cage and your stomach are aligned, that we're trying not to lean back or trying to hunch. From here, my foot and my knee are in line, and I'm going to imagine that I'm gently bending that knee forwards. So I'm not bending through my back, my knee comes forwards until I feel a stretch in this hip. My bottom, I want to think that it's tucked under, but my back isn't arching. You're going to feel a stretch and a pull through the front. If you're quite tight, the stretch is shorter. If you're more flexible, it's a longer stretch. Looking forwards, dropping those shoulders down. Adding in a side bend if you want, and again, some of you may feel very wobbly, so you can do this by a sofa or by a wall. And as you've lifted the arms up, just check your alignment, that you're not leaning forwards and back, and that tailbone is still tucked under. Breathing in and out. Coming back, putting your hands down if you need to change legs. Let me go the other way so you can still see. Bring this foot forwards, making sure that I'm aligned. Just gently allowing that knee to go over my toe, making sure I don't lose my spine position. Tucking that tailbone under, dropping my shoulders back and down. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. And if you feel comfortable, take this arm up to have a side bend. Remember that we're going to be different side to side. So always listen to your body. Breathing in and out. And then just rest. So